The shir is being given to Zecha Nishmas Vachaleya Bas of Chaim Tzvi. We have completed the first 47 prakim of Sefer Yirmiyahu. The last parak we discussed the nevuah of Yirmiyahu, and the nevuah of Yirmiyahu in parak Mem Zayin related to the Plishtim. Now we have in the subsequent prakim a series of prophecies in the part of Yirmiyahu that relate again to different nations of the world. This specific parak Mem Ches that we're going to be discussing relates to Moav. What we would like to do is, before we examine the parak internally, we'd like to provide some backdrop for this particular parak. So when one looks at the psukim at the end of parak Mem Ches, and perhaps we'll just read several of the psukim at the end, and these psukim should remind us of psukim that we are familiar with in the Chumash itself, in Parshas Chukas of Sefer Bamidbar, where the Torah makes reference to this particular discussion that's found in Yirmiyahu, Perek Mem Ches as well. At the end of Perek Mem Ches in Sefer Yirmiyahu, we'll read the last number of psukim, as we mentioned. We'll start with Pasuk Mem Hey. We'll read through the end of the Perek. The Navi says, B'tzel cheshbon omdu mikoach nasim ki eish yatsa mecheshbon v'lehava mibein sichon v'tochal pas Moav v'kodkod b'nei shon. The Navi speaks about the fact that a fire came out of Cheshbon, a lahava came out of the house of Sichon and consumed Moav. And the pasuk then continues, Memvav, Oilcha Moav avad am Kemosh. Kemosh was the god of Moav. That god has essentially been wiped out. Woe is to Moav. Ki luchu banecha bashevi uvelosecha bashibya. Moav was taken into captivity, and its daughters were also taken captive. However, the Navi tells us that at a certain point in time, L'achris hayamim, in Pasuk Mem Zayin, V'shavti shvus Moav V'achris hayamim Numashem Ad Heina Mishpan Moav. So the entire parak is going to describe a massive punishment that was meted out to Moav. Moav was essentially decimated and destroyed. The psukim that we just read here at the end of parak Mem Ches remind us of psukim that are found in Sefer Bamidbar. Here the Torah describes to us a number of encounters that Klal Yisrael had, and in the course of the discussion that the Torah has in these psukim, the Torah mentions in Chukas, for example, if you look in Perek Chaf Aleph of Sefer Bamidbar, you have a reference to Moav in Pasuk Perek Chaf Aleph, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Vayisu me'Ovos. Klal Yisrael, in the course of their traveling, in the course of their masos, travel from Ovos. Vayachanu b'yeha avarim b'midbar asher al pnei Moav mimizrach hashomesh. Torah continues in Yud Beis, Misham Naso, Vayachanu menachal Zored, Yud Gimel Misham Naso, Vayachanu me'ever Arnon asher b'midbar hayotzim b'gvul ha'amori ki Arnon gvul Moav bein Moav uvein ha'amori. Arnon is the gvul between Moav and Amori. Al kein yomar b'sefer mechamos Hashem es vahei b'sufa v'es hanechalim Arnon. Pasuk Tezvav tells us ve'esher hanechalim asher nata l'shebes or v'nishan l'gvul Moav. And then we have the be'er and the shiras ha'be'er that the Torah goes on to describe. In the midst of the shiras ha'be'er we have Pasuk Chaf u'mibamo sagai asher b'sdei Moav rosh ha'piska v'nishkafa ha'yidei Shimon. After that, the Torah tells us that Klal Yisrael sent shluchim to Sichon Melech Amori, asking permission to pass through his land. They indicated in the Pasuk Rabbeis, Lo niteh b'sadeh v'cherem, lo nishtem me'be'er. We're not going to interfere. We're not going to in any way touch any of your property. B'derech hamelech neilech, we'll use the main highway. Ad Hashem na'avor gvulecha. The Torah tells us, V'lo nasan Sichon es Yisrael avor b'gvulo. Sichon refused categorically to permit Klal Yisrael to traverse its property. Vayesel Sichon es kalama v'etzel l'kras Yisrael hamidbara v'yavo yatza v'yilochem Yisrael. and they engaged us in combat. And the Torah describes the Chavdali, what happened. They were totally wiped out. Me'arnon ad Yabok ad Bnei Ammon ki az gul Bnei Ammon. And as a result of this battle, Chavches, the Torah says, Chavhei rather, Vayikach Yisrael is called Ha'arim Ma'ileh. Klal Yisrael captured all their cities. Vayeshev Yisrael b'chol Harei Hamori b'Cheshbon u'b'chol Ben Oseh. The city of Cheshbon that we mentioned earlier, in the context of Moav, now in the hands of Sichon. Klal Yisrael captured from Sichon, Ki Cheshbon, Ir Sichon Melech HaAmori. Cheshbon was the city of Sichon, the king of the Amorites. V'hu nilcham b'melech Moav HaRishon. Sichon had fought the Moabites, the Melech of Moav, and it captured